You know that snake game we've all been playing since before you were born? Well, that, but with upgrades. Rule number one, don't leave the rectangle. But for our trouble, we got 7 red diamonds. We can spend 5 of those to increase the red value. And then we try it again without being completely stupid. So this time we're going to curve around at just the right times. So we're getting 2 points for every red diamond. I want to call them a triangle. I don't know why. It must be because I'm stupid. We have a red bar in the upper right that's slowly depleting every time we pick one of these up. 10 collections for 20 diamonds. So now we have more options. So we're going to increase the red value again by 50%. So now we're getting 3. And then wouldn't you know it, we got to get right back to work. I actually used to play a version, something similar to this a long time ago that was really fun, but I have no idea what it is. The only thing that matters is I want all of the upgrades. There's 30 points. So we're going to increase the red value based on our length. The longer the better. We're also going to spend 20 points to increase red value yet again. So the numbers are obviously going to get pretty big, but the longer we get, the more these are worth. So that one was even worth 5 already. Got a little excited there. This is the kind of game where the more coffee, the better. 6 points for that one, 6 points for that one. Look how long we are. We're going to make an infinity snake. Okay, we're up to 7, 8 points by the end. So now we have 60 points to spend on whatever we want. Increase color gain based on final score. I'm not entirely sure what it means, but for 50 points, it's going to be good. All the upgrades are getting pretty expensive, so we're going to have to start saving. So do we get a bonus at the end then for the final score? I guess we'll have to wait and see. The red bar in the upper right is representative of our health, as it turns out. So every time we touch one of these, we lose health. If we get more health, we can go for longer. I almost wish the snake moved a little bit quicker. It's almost annoyingly slow. 58 points times 1.25, 73. So let's increase the red value again. That's still a big increase, so worth 5 each. And then we can't afford anything else, even with 43 points. But our earnings are going ever upwards. So by the end, we had 75 times 1.25, 94. So we're going to increase the red score from 1 to 2. I'm not sure if that just straight up doubles the amount they're worth. We're also going to increase the value based on our length. So we're going to get even more. We're starting at 6 already. There's 7. This is going to be a much bigger earner. Think we could touch 2 more diamonds. That was worth 14. Almost ran into myself. Yeah, being longer sounds better, but it's going to be more difficult. 142. So we're going to increase the red score again by 50%. And then we're going to increase our health by a considerable margin, 20 hit points. So we'll get extra long for extra big score. It is going to start to work against us being long, as I said, because we're going to have to start like maneuvering a lot more. It's nice right now because I hardly have to think. This is in a bit of a tricky spot. I absolutely choked on that. Okay, we're good now. Starting to get pretty long. There's 17 for that one, 18. Wow, we're still going. Almost ran into myself again. The frame rate's really throwing me off. 175 base value, 254 total. We can actually spawn a second red. That's going to be good because now we don't have to be distracted trying to work our way over to 1 constantly. Can't afford any other upgrades. But in theory, this is going to be like double the score and double the things to touch. Although I guess every time we touch this, it's simply losing health. But this does give us more options. This will just mean quicker overall time progression because now I can get them pretty rapid fire and deplete our health quicker, which is sort of the name of the game. 250 per round already feels pretty good. We're going to increase the red score from 3 to 4 and maybe the increased score per length. So that will actually synergize really nicely with more health because the more health we have, the longer we can get. And I'm sure it makes a considerable difference, especially over the next 1,000 rounds of this. Okay, that went fairly quickly, 271. So the score is still going up. So we're going to increase the value based on length by a further 10%. Then we're going to increase our health. So we're going to start to be a real long snake. So this is where the second red is really going to pay dividends for us. As long as I don't crash into the wall, getting pretty good about timing that. I even got an achievement for that. So 340 base score times whatever, 541. We can further increase the red value from 5 till 10. We're going to double the value. We also got a teardrop. Oh, because we've unlocked the next tier down here. So tier 2 is what we could play on. I'm not sure what difference that's going to make. Maybe it gets faster or harder. A lot of innuendos involved in this one. The score is going up real fast. That was 70 points. Maybe just unlocking the new tier means much higher score. We ran out of HP very quickly, but we got 823. So right away, we're going to increase our health probably twice. We're also going to spawn a third red because that's going to use up my blue points. We're going to need 3,000 of these to unlock blue. We're also going to increase the red score from 4 till 5. Now look at everything we got to touch. We're already up to score 40. There's 47, 55. The longer we get, the better. And I'm pretty sure I haven't crashed outside the rectangle to that very first round. Since that very first round, I know how to talk. 1576 on a single run. So we're going to further increase red value from 10 to 15. That costs 1,000. We're also going to lock criticals. I assume those are just like a higher score when they do happen. Not that we necessarily need the help at this point. It feels like we're making super progress. Well over 100 per touch. So we're all the way up to 2,300 for the single run. We should probably unlock the blues to start getting some of those, although we still need more reds. So let's just increase the length score based on length one more time, then also health. There, we still have 1,500 left over. Then I saw this upgrade. Increase starting length from 2 till 3, yes. That's going to be a little bit annoying, but that's also just going to get us a much higher base score. And now we're going to get that much longer again by the end, so even bigger skull or score multiplier. So think how much bigger we'll be by the end now. Look how big we're getting now. So the score is going to get absolutely huge. That was 206 already, 217. 3426 for a single go. So we're going to unlock the blues properly this time. We got an achievement for that. And we're going to increase the starting length one more time. So even bigger base score, 71 first touch. I definitely want to collect the blues whenever we can. I feel like those are going to be a rarer thing, so we're going to want to get those. That one might be a crit. I don't know why it was sparkling like that, but the blue is sparkling. That gave us 5 of those. 5 blues was way more than I had before. That one's also very small. I don't know what to make of this, but we're getting a big score. So we're going to further increase red value from 15 till 20. That's a 33% increase. I don't think I care for much for the critical multiplier yet, so we're going to save the reds and we're just going to get right back to grinding. Some of the blues are definitely like big and small. I'm not sure if there's actually any difference or they just look different. Like that one's so small, it was only worth 5, and that one was worth I don't know how much. A little bit hard to see with all these HD graphics happening. We're going to increase the blue value straight away. That's doubled their earnings. And we'll increase our starting length. That's now maxed out. And we can also make ourselves faster with enough points. But the starting value is now up to 110. That's such a big increase already. I just really hope that means the numbers in this get absolutely stupidly big. Maybe the crits are worthwhile. Because the one we just picked up before, 275, was 490. That gave us 3,300 reds, 24 blues, which means we can increase the blue value again. It's up to 3 base value. Collected reds have a chance to heal for 5,000 has got to be good. That means more time elongating our snake. I just realized we're having multiple blues spawn at a time. That was quite a luxury for reds, so I'm not sure why we're able to do that so often. But the points are getting big. We're basically just buying whatever we can afford other than the crits. So this will further increase red value from 20 to 25. Which again means a much bigger multiplier, especially by the end, as soon as we actually land on the diamonds. Little blue, big red, big red. A length multiplier for the blues would actually be huge for us. But we got 5,378 reds just from that one. We also got enough to increase the blue value one more time. Snake can now pass through the sides of the grid. Okay, that's just less stress for me crashing into things. Critical multipliers also going from 2 to 2.5, now up to 3. So we should be able to go through the outside barrier, is that correct? Oh, we go all the way around. Oh, that's much handier. I spent more time than I would like to admit stressing about crashing into the sides. Still only happened once. 5,100, so we're getting pretty consistently 5,000 reds per run. So let's increase the crit chance from 10 to 15%, and also the critical multiplier to 3.5% as well. So now when those do show up, they're even bigger than before. Like that was 678 already. We can get a much longer snake, 809. Okay, this one over here is a crit. We're going to touch that. 1465, almost 1,500 from a single touch. So we got 1,200, I guess. I guess that symbolizes hundreds. Okay, we just increase our red value up to 30. Didn't actually mean to click on that, but we did. We're going to increase the blue score from 3 till 6. Not entirely sure what it means. Not entirely sure it matters. I just keep gathering these up. Like that one already had a base of 10. That was a crit for 35. I guess in theory, if they're all crits, the whole score goes up by like 3, 4, 5 times by that point probably. So 168 blues, 85, 58 reds. We're going to put armor on. I'm not really sure what that does. We're going to buy 2 levels of armor. Maybe that just means we take less damage per touch. Critical chance is going up to 20%, and that seems to be maxed out. We're also going to take the heal amount when we do get heals. Then we're starting at 165 for reds. There's crits already over 1,000. Yeah, we're definitely taking way less damage by touching these, so we're going to get a much longer snake for much bigger values. Like we pick these 2 up, grab the crit. Almost 2,000. We finally died. We got a lot there. I guess 16,088 blues. So the crit multiplier is going to go up to a 4 times multiplier. and our healing chance is going to jump up to 25%. Eventually, if we could be healing on most of our touches and taking little damage, we could be going a real long time. This time we got more blues and less reds. Maybe we didn't get as much healing too. The reds have a chance to heal us. The blues, I suppose, don't. But let's increase the blue value. That's now maxed out. It opened up more blue options. We can also get a lot more health. I guess the score is perhaps synonymous with our length. The higher our score, the longer we are. And the longer we are, the more points we get and the higher the multiplier at the end. That sounds about right. So we'll just keep collecting things and watch good things happen. So we collect those. There was 5,002 grabs plus that's 7,503 grabs. Look how long we're getting. We got really big score there. I guess 32,178. We can spend 200 blue points, increasing critical chance to 25%, which will be big for both colors. Our red value is also going up to 35, and the heal amount is going to jump up to 6. That's a 50% increase. So the first piece was like 190, the first crit was 980. And every 1 in 4 of these should be a crit, which means a much bigger score. Given the limited shapes appearing on screen, we should focus on crits when we can. So by the end of that, we got 18,262 blues. We're going to increase, perhaps the blue score would be wise. Before doing that, let's give ourselves more health. And that's pretty crazy because even with all these red points, I can't afford any upgrades. They're getting that expensive. We need a tier upgrade still. We need to see what the next one's going to give us. So that one, we got 47,000 reds and 369 blue. So we're definitely going to increase our snake speed by 5%. That's going to be significant, especially over the next 6 hours of my life. And then we got a few good options. Critical reds heal twice as much. I feel like that's going to pair very nicely. That was 50,000. But with the amount of crits we have, that's just going to be really, really big for us. If we can heal through all the damage, or at least a large part of it, we'll get a much bigger score. Look at all the crits here. There's 2,000, there's 2,100, and a really big snake. So 30,000 from that, and that wasn't even a particularly good one. So let's grab a little more health so we can get a little more length and also increase the base red value from 35 to 40. And so we're starting even higher again, so we're going to max out even higher out with our big snake. Really big snake, that's 5,200, 5,300. These crits are getting big. Okay, we put ourselves in a bit of a bad, even worse spot. So it turns out we can't run ourselves over. We finally confirmed that, but look at that score. So we're going to increase the blue score from 6 to 9. I think that's going to help our overall length and score at the end of the multiplier. We're going to increase the red value again. We still have reds left over, so we're going to increase the heal chance from 25 to 30%, basically 1 in 3. There's a blue crit that was worth 50. That's actually huge for blues. I wanted that crit. Even a base value was almost 1,500. So we're going to further increase our crit chance up to 30%. And then we're going to increase our heal chance to 35%. So over 1 in 3 is going to heal us and also more armor. We're going to make an invincible snake. Yeah, if I really focus on getting a really big snake with really big multipliers, like we'll make just stupid amounts of points. I think we'll just get exponential growth the longer we can last for. Although we are going to start getting in our own way, which is going to get pretty annoying. The extra armor has helped a lot. We are a huge snake. We're getting almost 2,000 base value until I did that. And apparently that's max score. But we might have hit tier 3 because of that, which means we got another blue point, I think. So we can spawn a second blue. We did get a blue point. We're going to increase the blue value, that increase the value based on collected reds. We collected a lot of reds, so that feels like a natural step. We're also going to further increase the red value up to 50. So we're up to a much bigger score. The base value, that was 3,000, and that was the very first one we picked up. This should be tier 3, yeah, so the damage is huge. We're going to need to increase our armor almost immediately. Okay, I ran into myself. We were winding down there anyway, but we got real big score for blue. So more armor, more armor. And that was really all we could afford. Hopefully the upgrades actually go that far. That would be real fantastic. I did find this way down here. Increase all color value score by 5%. Find the lucky clover. Oh, see, exploration is worth it. Wish I found that earlier, but I'm also really glad I didn't find that later. Look at those scores. Look at that massive amount of damage my snake is taking. And the final red, almost 10,000 from a single one. So let's increase our health up to 350 and then up to 400 immediately. We're also going to get our critical multiplier up to 5 times. And that's obviously going to help us get a much bigger score again. Where's all my crits? We're supposed to have like 1 and 2 of these. Okay, well that one was worth 400 for the blue. I think 5,000 for the red already. We kind of put ourselves in a tough spot there. We're going to elongate. We're going to stretch out that snake. A stretchy snake is a good snake. We need it real spread out. Oh, we actually ran out of health that time. Okay, I kind of want to finish off some of these that are kind of low value because I think they're either going to end their line or open up a better one. Yeah, that one opened up unlock skins. We're also going to spend this 50,000 and 1,000 for criticals effect score. That's perfectly fine to me. We're doing lots of crits, so anytime we have anything that ties into that, it's just much better for us overall. I think that'll actually just make us considerably longer again. Okay, the score is already getting kind of stupid. We're up to over 10,000, 12,000 per red touch. 155,000 reds, 3,500 blues. The score is really actually escalating quickly. So critical multiplier is going up to 6 times. Critical chance is up to 35% now. I thought it was before, but I misread because I'm not paying much attention. We're also going to increase our heal chance up to 40%, which is now maxed. And I've actually paid attention up there to the first time to the healing, and it's actually pretty significant. The damage is also quite significant though, so we're going to need higher heal chance to actually like mitigate. But this score just keeps getting bigger. Do I want skins? I feel like that's very expensive for something I probably don't want. I think what I do want is probably higher critical chance. That's 40%. Oh, the heal amount can also go up again as well from 6 to 8. So that's an increase of 1/3, which of course keeps us alive longer, which of course multiplies our score more. Or I feel like blues are going to do more for me upgrade wise, but I can't help but touch the reds because they're big numbers. I will take this blue just for a big 500. So we can further increase color gain based on final score for 5,000. Then that's basically all of our hard-earned money, except we can increase our healing one more time. So hopefully the heals really start to repair some of this damage we take, but damage, especially in the blues, is huge. I'm probably better off collecting a bunch of reds until like the final one can be like a critical hit blue. Probably not actually the worst idea I've ever had. This one we are going to take, one of the mini blues there for a crit, 546. But look at that score. We got 15,000 blues. So we're going to increase all score 10%. That's just a very long upgrade. We're also going to increase the snake speed by another 5%. And again, that's really, really going to make a difference. I need the snake moving at light speed. Got a little bit of healing there. The blue really hurt. Red healed. Is this red going to heal? Yeah, I think a lot of the reds will heal us at this point. But as soon as we touch the blue, it's just massive damage. Trying to avoid the blues is actually getting hard. But if we get enough reds, maybe some... That was 23,000 for a single touch. Whoops. But there's more we can do. Critical multiplier can go up to 7 times. We're also going to unlock greens. Might as well get started on those. We're just going to get overwhelmed with more upgrades. Healing amount is now up to a full 12. And then we can't afford anything else. But greens that are probably hugely damaging. Yep, that green definitely took a giant bite out of my health. But our heals should be higher, so as long as we're touching lots of reds, we should be longer. There's a crit green, which was actually worth a lot more than I thought it would be. I touched another crit green when it did a massive amount of damage. I think reds, generally do more damage and healing over time, but they still give us lots of beautiful points. And I'm just here for the dopamine. But I'm pretty sure up to 408,000 reds plus a multiplier. So 2,176,000 reds, so I think 2 million. Critical chance, thanks to this, for 600 greens can be 45%. I'm going to unlock skins finally, just to see what it is. Oh, okay, we got to pay for these. Good to know. There's also a question mark over here. The effects of all unlocked skins are always active. Okay, so I should actually try and unlock some of these. Other than that, I think we're going to increase heal amount from 12 to 18. So I might as well start with some damage, otherwise there's no point in healing. Okay, that green very nearly finished us off, so hopefully the reds are healing. They weren't, but we still did pretty good. So good, in fact, that we cannot afford a single upgrade. That's okay. I've got time. I'm hoping with this super healing amount, we can actually exist for a long, long time and like undo a lot of the damage because our health is obviously pretty low. We're down to like under 20%, but that was a big bite we put back on. Unfortunately, I was looking at the healing rather than where I was going. So if we were to unlock some of these skins, we can increase the value. This increases blue value by 50%, which is big enough that I'm going to do it. I feel like red value is pretty easy. We're going to increase the green value. We're going to double that. No, we're not. We can't afford it. Those are so expensive. But at least now we'll get lots of blues. Look at all those red crits. Huge score. Score is winding down. I was hoping the red would heal us, but we're still doing pretty good. So blue value is going to double again. That's on top of our 50% bonus. Green value is also going to double. Red healing is going to go from 18 to 24. And that can still be upgraded 6 more times. But as we hit the higher tiers, we're going to take more and more damage. That's really going to be necessary. Red, I feel like, is mostly here for healing at this point. The only thing I'm upgrading is more healing. So that was 13 greens only for a single touch. I guess we're going to spawn more mini blues for 20,000. I'm not really sure if that benefits us or not, but I guess there's more chance for crits that way. Actually, if I just charge you the blues, we can make a lot of them really quickly. There were 60,000 and that took me like 10 seconds. So we're going to increase the critical multiplier from 7 till 8 times. And I'm mostly going to try and focus on crits whenever I can now. It's just such good value. So for now we got 69,000 blues, 331,000 reds, 590, just 590 greens. So we're going to increase the green score by double. I'm also going to increase the snake speed by another 5%. That felt like a big 5%. I feel like this thing's really moving. But there we go. We got 1,000 greens from that one alone. So that's finally starting to get somewhere. We're going to increase the green value by 50%. We're going to increase all the score. This is also a double one. It costs 400,000 and 30,000, 10%. Also 10% on top of that. But that's really going to help the score for everything. Everything does so much damage though. Unlock the green bar. I don't know what the green bar is, but we're going to get it. Okay, so the green bar appears to be over on the right. If we collect a green, the green bar goes up. Got it. Nothing else seems to make it go up. Oh, it's a multiplier. Oh, that's fun. Okay, we'll take another one of those. We're going to take some blues to get big multiplier. And back to reds. Try and grab a few greens to make the bar go up. Yeah, there's another 2 times multiplier, but we're timing out. That was 4,200 greens though. That's so many for greens. I'm going to use a bunch of those greens to increase our armor from 5 to 8. And this to just collecting blues increases armor. Oh, okay, that's fun too. I like how the mechanics and stuff are shifting and growing the longer we go. So blues will actually increase our armor, reds will heal us. So yeah, that's actually hugely helpful. Now we just need to be able to stay alive for a little bit longer, but we'll make do. So to ×2 multiplier, I'm just going to grab a few reds for healing more than anything. We'll grab some blues to grab some armor. Ooh, look at all these crit blues. That was so many. Even though I knew we were going to die, we had to do it. There's so many good options at this point. So we're going to increase the value of greens. The base value is just a huge thing to get going. Also increasing armor per blue picked up. Might just quickly, yeah, we took a few greens and died almost immediately, but we got 3,000 points. So that means a very quick upgrade. Increase the multiplier of the greens ×3. I picked up a few reds on this one to see if they could heal us. And when they heal, they really heal. Gonna dive into that little cluster, get another green multiplier going if we can, although it's gonna be hard to get that green out of there. Never mind. You know, we'll call it good there, but there's lots. So we're gonna take more health. By 150, that's actually a huge health increase. More armor per blue. I guess the green score can also go up 10 to 15. So now the green is a ×3 multiplier. So when you pick everything up, big score. I definitely want a green crit out of that. That was 630 from a single pickup. Okay, there's another green pickup. That was also 630. I guess they won't get affected by length because they don't have that multiplier on them, but there's still 10,000 greens. So green base value is going up. Blue value is going up by another 50% as well. What does this one do? Further increase heal chance by another 10%. Yes. Also, critical chance is going up to 50%. And with the amount that the reds do heal, that's going to be big. So every blue we pick up actually increases a lot of armor as well. There's just a lot of different things to think about now. So that was a fairly good run, but we got 14,000 greens just from that one. So we need an extra blue point to grab whatever that is. Unlocks the snake tongue. What's the snake tongue? I didn't even read. I just clicked on it immediately. We could increase all of our score by a further 10%. That seems like a good idea because that's just everything. Critical multiplier can also go up by another 1 times, and we're going to increase our health even more. And then it's right back to work. Oh, the tongue sticks out the front. And I guess it's a multiplier? I don't really know what that does. I think I might have maxed out the score again. I sure did. 10,000 greens. I think that means we've hit a new tier as well. So we probably got some new things to buy. Well, I do want to increase the armor per blue. That seems really important. Also, the green score is going to go up by 2 notches. And collecting greens increase bar multiplier, yes. And I suspect this tier is going to be very damaging based on what I've seen there. Yeah. But we're up to ×4 multiplier, so if we pick up some reds, the healing isn't even enough to do that. But the values of things seem really big. Like if we pick up this crit red, that was 42,000. Crit blue is 11,000. Big scores. And then I've overwhelmed with what to buy. Blue value is going to go up for 200,000. Green multiplier is going to go up ×4 for the bar. Green score is going up by another 5. And we can't really spend the reds by themselves right now, so right back to work. We can die pretty quickly on this, but we gain things so quickly it doesn't really matter. So we're going to have more health again and more blue value again. And I think, again, that's the last thing we can afford. So a few quick runs later, we're going to increase all of our score 40 to 50%. I really would like to get our healing value up because the reds actually at this point can put us back to life. That almost killed us because I was not paying attention. That seems to be what keeps getting us. But the scores are so big at this point, it really doesn't matter. Critical blues had twice as much armor. Yes? Oh, we can use greens for straight up more armor as well. We definitely want to take less damage as we go. Crit chance is up to 55% and blue value is increased. So now, especially as we get all these blues and crit blues, especially much more armor. So not only are we taking less damage, but the heals mean a lot more, relatively speaking, as well. So we're up to a 5 times multiplier there. So we got lots of blues going. Suddenly thanks to all that armor and health, like we are lasting way longer. I feel like we could last forever at this rate. As long as we keep picking up a few reds along the way, we'll put our health right back on. The snake is getting long though, so that's maybe going to be a problem, obviously. If we start running into ourselves, we're doomed. The score is over 50,000 now. Health is going back up. We're getting so long, I think we're going to be pretty much boned actually here. 94,000 greens though, so we got to spend this wisely. Ish. We have also hit new units. I don't know if those are millions, billions. I lost track. So we're going to further increase the heal amount because that's really big for us. Armor would be good too. The more armor, the more we live for. Blues increase armor, yes. Green value is going to double. And then we're going to have a bigger crit multiplier up to 10 times. Even after all that, we're going to increase blue value by a considerable amount twice, 3 times. And we're going to spawn more mini blues while we're at it. So now the heals are going to take huge bites back for our health, and nothing else is really going to hurt us too badly, especially once we start collecting blues for that armor. But we can use the greens for multipliers now, 6 times multiplier, do a heal. The multiplier ran out quickly there. But currently we're getting 178,000 per blue to pick up.
That's more blue than I expected to encounter today.
Crit chance is going to be maxed out for this tab at 60% now. Green score is going to go from 30 to 35. Triple big value. Okay, big blue value is tripled. And all score going up another 10%. So this should mean lots of score. These are big blues over here, so let's touch the crit. That was 358,000 to begin with. Something there was hurting us a lot, so we got to try and weave in here to get some of the reds for some heals. It's so hard seeing those blues sitting everywhere, though. Just so much value. Greed is what does me in every single time, but look at all the blues we got. So we're going to take more HP again. That was a giant boost for that. The score is going up 10% overall. Green score is going up too. We really need greens. Greens are the hard one to come by still. So let's continue to increase the green value. That's a 50% increase. That's a big one. Green bar duration 10% sounds good to me. Increase blue value some more. Why not? Because after that we unlock all color value. That's really expensive, but that's obviously a big boost. I should probably actually strategize this a bit, like pick up a bunch of reds to heal us, then pick up a bunch of blues to increase our shield more. Once you have lots of shield, we could definitely touch things a lot freer. Gonna have to start employing some proper strategy just to keep ourselves alive here. But now we're up to a 4 times multiplier. There's 5 times, so we'll pick up a few of those, even a couple reds. We get up more green spawning, but we should pick up this green for 1230 from a single touch. Look at those scores though, that feels right. I'm going to take Neon Snake now to increase green value by 50%. That's obviously just going to be a big one. Then we're going to take the blues. Each blue is going to increase armor by a lot. We're also going to increase our healing by a lot. The critical multiplier is also going up by another 1 times. And I think that's all the upgrades we can buy for the moment. But we need some of these greens really badly. There's a 5 times green multiplier. 7 times. Let's just get this be a quick green run to just get a whole bunch of those. And it was 193,000, I think. We can use that to add armor and our green score some more. The snake feels easier on my eyes to follow, so that feels good too. The score seems to be actually really strong on this, like our armor and damage and everything. So I think we're able to run this potentially really long as I don't run into myself, which will inevitably happen. Kinda like that. I probably should have read this closer. I know I read this earlier, but the effects of all unlocked skins are always active. So as long as they're unlocked, they're doing something for us. So the red value has also gone up by 50%. This one over here is kind of interesting. Continue increasing color gain based on final score. That costs 200,000 greens. Also, we're going to take this. Collecting with the tongue does less damage. Then increase all score another 10%. And then we're going to increase the green bar duration by another 10%. The green bar really could add up to some big multipliers. But now we're also getting 50% more reds and just a whole bunch more score all over the place. I reached a 10 times score combo. I actually zoned out there, but apparently I was doing really good. And I mean, look at the numbers. We clearly were doing good. So green value needs to go up. It's going to go from 15 to 20 to 25. The green score over here is also going to go up. Green bar effect score as well. That's really expensive, but we'll unlock that shortly. I want the green bar duration to go up another 10%. And we're going to further increase our heal chance from 50 to 60%. And then all scores going up another 10% as well. Bigger snake faster. This next run we crashed pretty early, but the scores are just getting bigger no matter what we do. Like we can increase all color value 10%. That's upgradable 10 times. I don't know if I want any more health. More base armor would be nice. And the green bar is going to last 10% longer again. And our multiplier for crits is now 12 times. I feel like I'm missing some kind of upgrade where the snake can like just cross over itself. That's gotta be the next big one because we're just getting so big we destroy ourselves every time. At this point, I really should just do something like this where I just go back and forth across the whole screen. If I just do this endlessly, we'll get what we want, but I don't have the patience for that. Whoops. Oh, here's a good one to unlock. Increase red, green, and blue value by 20%. That's all of the skins. And green bar effects score. Yes. That was so expensive that that's gotta be good. We're gonna increase the green value again by another 5. Rainbow Snake. Rainbow Snake is gonna get us unimaginably big scores. Taking lots of damage right away on this too, so we gotta get some healing up and then put some armor on before we touch any more of those greens. I think it just maxed out our score again at 100,000. So the multiplier at the end of this should be pretty big. And I just ran myself into a corner. But max score reached. Big numbers. That also pushed us into tier 5. I'm not even sure what our next blue point upgrade is. Spawn a second green. There's a whole nother color, a yellow one. So we are going to increase all color value by a further 10%, all score by a further 10%. I feel like we're going to take a lot of damage. We're going to need more health and armor or heal chance. Also health. Using our tongue is going to decrease damage by a further 10%. The green bar is going to last 10% longer. So these should be damaging, but also, yeah, those values are huge. Like legitimately huge. I barely touched anything there, and that took 2 seconds, and that was a huge score. Our critical multiplier is now up to 14 times. Even touching the reds now hurts so much. So for now, we're just going to touch anything we can for a big score really quickly. We might actually have to go back 1 tier just to stack up the score, though. Like, we get a big score quickly, but we die so quickly that, like, we need to still just push through this. We're going to try it here. We're going to pick up this green, and we're going to super ramp with a crit green over here, which is going to hurt. But we just need that many. Then we need some heals. I did pick up another crit green there because I got greedy. This is a bad spot to be. More heals. See, this is a game where you need a lot of patience, which just isn't something I'm going to have ever. I picked up a green, then I think another one immediately spawned in front of me, but we got 17 ends, which means we can unlock yellows. That means we've got more work to do. We probably want more heal amount. I feel like that's really important at this point. So is the green value. We just really need to keep going up with the values of greens. Somehow still at this point. But at least now we can pick up the yellows, which are probably going to devastate our health bar. Yep, that was like half my HP. So pick up 1 more green before picking up the crit. At least we got almost 3,000 of those, which isn't enough for any upgrades yet. Very well, back to work. I've got time. It's so hard to get a lot of those. I can go back to tier 4 actually, which is much less damaging. I think I'll just build up a lot of yellows here. I basically need to go until my snake is like impossibly long, but by that point it's worth it. So going back a tier, I can max out the score, and I think I got enough yellows to actually get an upgrade for them, so we double their value. I'm also going to increase my health by a considerable margin. That's only got 1 upgrade left. Okay, I gave myself almost a 10 times multiplier before picking up some yellows. Still really didn't make much of a difference over there. But as long as every run looks like this, the score is going to get really stupidly big. So yellow value is going to go up by 50% again, which is really importantly big. Increase all color value another 10%, also big. So this next round we got 376,000 yellows. So now we can finally make some progress. So yellow score is going to double, but that used up half of our points. Collected yellow increases all color value, yes. Critical greens charge the bar twice as much. That's important for us. The bar is going to last 10% longer again. Also, healing amount is going to go up by a considerable margin, 20%. A few runs later, we can increase the yellow value again by a considerable margin. Those upgrades are so expensive. We're going to increase all color value another 10%. Crit chance is going up to 65%, so about 2/3 are crits. I'm going to move on to tier 5 to see if we can handle this right now. Yeah, we're a lot better able to do this. Each one is worth considerably more score. This does considerably more damage. But if I stay up healing and eat lots of blues for armor, I think we'll be okay. Like if I take all these and heal us up, I think we could build a pretty big score. I've also collected enough yellows that we have a 1.1 times score multiplier so far. Pick up another yellow, that went to 1.2. So that's actually going to make a big difference. We got our green bar going over there. Should I pick up another yellow, a crit no less? 1.3 times. Okay, we got a heal though. But we can survive on tier 5 now. That's important because these things are super damaging. The yellows here are what are especially damaging. If I don't touch those, we're generally pretty good. Unless I touch myself, but look at those scores. 1490 big number. So we're going to keep on increasing the health. I just want a whole bunch of health so we can survive those initial hits to build that armor quickly. Aside from that, I don't actually think I could afford anything, so we'll just get straight back to work. The next run, we died a lot sooner because I'm stupid, but you can see the scores are just going to get so stupidly big. Okay, so the only thing we can actually afford after that is a bigger green bar, but that one's maxed out, and that feels good just for the completionist side in me. Really just got to work on getting more of those yellows, which I just did, so we can definitely increase something somewhere. Actually, the multiplier value per yellow might be big, because that will affect itself. Also, even more healing, which is also big. Oh, and then critical hit multiplier another 1 times. That took a lot of greens, but we don't have much else to spend the greens on at this point. We're clearly going to need yellows next. And I need to realize we unlocked a new skin, so for 100, whatever those are, we can get 50% more yellow. Okay, this time I'm really going to focus hard at getting lots of the blues first, just to build up all of our armor. And once that's feeling pretty good, we got to obviously top up our health. We're healing so much now as well. Okay, we got lots of armor. We're going to pick up a green. That's going to start our multiplier thing, so we're going to pick up a yellow. The damage there is much more manageable. So we just got to be careful what we're touching. Pick up lots of heals, lots of armor. Don't box ourselves out. Okay, we picked up a green there, so the multiplier thing is going. We're going to go down into this lucrative little corner, grab whatever we can, and run into ourselves. That was still worth it though. Look at all that. Okay, yellow value is definitely going to go up. Yellow score is going to go up. We just need yellows, and they're so hard to get right now. We don't really want to spend anything there. Critical multiplier is actually going to wait. Heal chance should go up though, because that's one that's going to help keep us alive. Ooh, more armor per blue. That's also big. All color value is going up by another 10-20%. So we just got a really, really big increase overall. I guess the tongue thing too, taking less damage for the tongue, 10%, basically means we're unstoppable. Same strategy, pick up lots of blues to build up our shield, heal that all up, and then start collecting the rest of the colors. I guess now it could be blues and reds, it doesn't really matter. Either way, the score is going up, so we might as well just collect everything we can, blues and reds. Yellow score is going to go up. That costs 1,800 of those. Things are getting so expensive again. Critical chance can go up another 5%. There's a 70% crit chance at this point. Well, I managed to once again max out the score, this time at 999,000. Whoops, shouldn't read while I'm snaking. But we obviously got a pretty big score. So we can afford even more healing because we made a new symbol. And I want to add the multiplier for yellow, believe it or not, because that's just going to be really big for all colors. We're going to increase the crit multiplier, and green bar increases healing at a reduced rate. Okay. That sounds actually really good to me. Tier 6 though. So I feel like these are really going to hurt. So we're going to employ the same strategy. Lots of blues, hopefully lots of reds to heal us. Well, the blues did add lots of armor. We're going to need the reds to hopefully heal through all that. We're going to snake our way through the minefield. I'm scared to touch a yellow. I feel like it's going to one-shot us. So we're going to pick up a few reds before doing that to get a little bit of healing. We'll maybe try here. Yeah, that definitely hurt a lot, but we got it. I think we basically need to survive at this tier anyway to actually like make progress at this point. It would take too long to grind out under a lesser tier. We do have the green bar going, which should increase our healing, albeit at a like reduced rate, but it should still increase. Feels like it is, so we're going to pick up another yellow in the corner and try not to trap ourselves here. The snake is getting very long. This should be a good one. Okay, we're getting a little out of control here. We are going to do our best to survive in this little space. Yeah, I think we got it. We're going to weave back and forth, pick up some reds, pick up some blues, start panicking a little bit because we're running out of room. Definitely want to pick up a yellow before I die. That's sort of the one thing I want, because look at that score, 35 or whatever those are, even 12 and yellows. So the yellow score is going to go from 36 to 45, and that's it. We can't actually afford any more of those. They're so stupidly expensive. I'm going to take more starting HP too. That way we can just tank through more of that initial damage, and the multiplier for crits is 20 times. Oh, there's a green value down here waiting for us. Green is now maxed out. Gain a second life. That's actually huge. Wish I found that earlier. So hopefully now when we die, we get to start out with our score intact, our multipliers or whatever. Gonna grab another yellow here, just really cheekily. That we're at a 1.6 times multiplier already. And then we're gonna focus on some heals for a while. I guess if I pick up heals, I really should touch a green though too, just to get the multiplier heal going. But green's gonna do a lot of damage to us, so we gotta be careful. Yep, that definitely hurts. Everything hurts so bad. Really, really, really gotta pick up lots of armor. Okay, that was one of our lives, but we just kept on going right where we were, so that's a good sign. I think with that, that's such a big upgrade that that's really gonna... Uh-oh, I think I didn't know it. I can go up here. I don't know if I keep my armor when I lose a life like that, but hopefully. Decided to get greedy and go for a yellow, which definitely hurt, but the results speak for themselves. Pretty sure that was worth it. We get 10% for all color value, which I think we just might. I want to put heal chance all the way up to 90%. That's only got one more level left. We can finally afford another big one, more armor per blue collected. We really need that armor. All color values going up by a further 10% as well. And crit chance is going to 75%. Then we're back to eating shapes. See, the problem with some of these runs, when you get really long in here, we're just running out of room to maneuver. We're getting lots of points for every single thing we touch. But it's also hard to like fish the reds out of here because you can see that we're just badly running out of space. I had to sacrifice a life there. But everything we touch at this point is such huge value that I really should just start touching some of the yellows as much as I can. But at this point, we don't really get to dictate a lot of what we touch or where we're going. We just touch what we can. Actually, just about open my way up to the yellow again. But look at what we got. That means yellow score going up again, which is really big. I really got to look at the skins more because I realize now I can actually buy this double starting armor. That's exactly what we need. It looks a little blocky, but we're going to do this and we're going to add armor on top of this to be really tough to be able to actually absorb some of this damage. I find this one surprisingly easy to like steer and maneuver, maybe because it fills the entire grid. Well, we got plenty of armor there, so we'll take a yellow or two just to get our multiplier going. Not really sure what I did there, kind of panicked and therefore did nothing. Picked up a green there, so our multiplier bar is going, mostly because I wanted some heals. We'll try and take some more armor and HP. Okay, we're going to start to delve into some other colors now, mostly because we need to. Not sure why I did that. I ran myself into a corner, not paying attention as per usual, but we need to start grabbing some of those yellows and also some healing. Even with all this armor, everything absolutely destroys us. To the point where pretty sure we're going to die very soon unless I manage to get... nope, we're dead. But we get to increase the yellow value, we've doubled it. That's actually enormous right now. And even with all of this armor and healing and upgrades, we're still getting destroyed so very easily. But the good part about that is it means the numbers can get even bigger, and they're already enormous. Like I touched a single yellow so far, and it basically did that to my HP. We lost 70% of it touching a single yellow. And I already lost both of my health is there so far, but look how big the numbers are getting. And there's still a lot more to this one, so they'll get even bigger next time.